Today we're back with another episode of Eats with Evan and our guest, who you have not yet met, but you will now, Dr. Kevin Valadares.
Hey, thanks, Evan. I appreciate your invitation. It's my 24th year at USI, where I'm a faculty member and chair our Master of Health Administration program. Can we eat?
Definitely. The whole kind of purpose of this series was to highlight for you guys different areas on campus that you can find food, what food is good. All food is good, but what you might like the most. And today we're at the Loft. So this is in UC West. It's a cafeteria here on campus. Tons of different food options, as I found out today. My first time eating here. Couldn't think of a better guest to have a first meal with. A bowl of pasta, salad, water. Looks like the same.
You can get anything you want. We got our pasta cooked to order. So I don't know if you can do it better than that.
Compared to maybe the most recent episode or other episodes, this is a very communal feeling. Yeah, it looks great. So I guess let's dig in.
Okay, good.
So try a bit of the food. What do you think? You want to give it a rating, thoughts?
Very good, very good. I really like the pesto sauce on the pasta, and the pesto is a favorite of mine, so love it. Yeah.
Better
What
than
about yours?
anything I would make.
Better than anything you'd make?
I would make for sure.
Do you usually make
Nope.
pasta? Do you make anything at all?
I try. I can say I try.
Really? Are you
Yeah,
a Star Wars fan?
I'm not
You
a
like
Star Wars
fan?
fan. I wouldn't say I'm a diehard.
Okay, there's a line from Yoda in the second Star Wars.
Right.
Try not, do, or do not. There is no try.
So I should not try. I should just do.
You should just do.
Noted. Okay,
There we
maybe
go.
I'll come around the Loft and ask for a
Thank
couple
you.
lessons.
Thank you.
You mentioned earlier in the episode or before we started eating that you've been here for 24 years.
Yeah.
With the MHA program.
Yeah.
24 years ago, I was not born. Well, I was, but I was a baby. So I have lived my whole life, and our guest started a program. That's quite a long time. So I think he has a lot of valuable insight. The first question that I want to pose to you: what was it like when you got here, USI?
It was really wonderful to come as part of a team. I came from St. Louis,
Yep.
where I was still in school, and I had some healthcare experience. So we started a graduate health administration program to provide this leadership to people who want to be in leadership positions in healthcare. And it was really wonderful to be on we created everything. We created all the courses, the
Yeah.
structure, made a lot of mistakes, learned a lot, but we were able to quickly improve it. So we were able to do all kinds of cool things, and it's still in existence. Yeah.
And what would you say over that kind of period since you came and correct me if it was 2001? 2001. Obviously, USI would have been a different place back then.
Yeah.
What have you noticed there's going to be so many in 24 years, but the biggest change from 2001 to 2024?
We're a very young institution, and it's really pretty neat whether you're a student or a faculty member or work here as a staff to be part of a growing institution. We're not set in our ways. We can make changes, we can grow new things, and that spirit is what I've seen develop, the constant change. That's really been neat.
I wanted to share a little bit about my experience, getting to know Kevin, how we were introduced. You guys know, being an international originally, I'm from Toronto, Canada. Not too far away, probably, 5 hours maybe.
5 hours from where I grew up. In
5 hours
Ottawa,
from
Canada.
where-
So we have two Canadians
Yeah.
here having a
Two
pasta together.
Canadians in UC West eating a bowl of pasta. It's crazy to say. Kevin's been a massive figure in my life away from academics. Not the reason, but a very, very large part of the reason why I ended up at USI. And I owe him a lot. So not only are we highlighting food, we're highlighting important members of the USI community and important members to our student body. Speaking a little bit about the organization that I started, it was surrounding men's mental health. Kind of steamrolled into overall general mental health, and the direction of the organization now is changed a little bit. Kevin was the first guest speaker for that club. So I'm going to kind of hand it over to him, let him talk about what mental health is to him, what it means to him. We'll all together, I think, kind of learn a little bit. So
Yeah.
over to you.
We first connected when you were hosting a mental health group for male college students. I was really impressed that this was happening on a college campus. And of course, as anyone really knows, we've, as a society, thankfully become much more open about talking about mental health struggles. About 35 years ago, there was a program developed actually in Australia that has really been taken off here in the US called Mental Health First Aid. We take first aid not so we can be nurses and doctors or counselors, but so we can provide aid to someone who's fallen or collapsed at home or church or wherever. Mental health first aid is that it gives people the tools to react, to maybe look at their own life as well. We offering that through a consortium in the community in the region to employers. And then I really wanted to bring it to USI.
Yeah. As someone who has been through the MHFA, the Mental Health First Aid Program, I can speak to not only how valuable the insight was throughout the day and the session, but how I've carried it on in my life, in my interactions with friends, family, as you mentioned, and most importantly, with my peers. My question I have for you, if you could give one piece of advice to a college freshman in 2001, what do you think it would be?
I mean, the advice that I got from two loving parents was, keep going,
Yeah.
stick with it. But I wasn't aware, I didn't have the tools myself. And so we didn't really help coach. And I really do think it's a lot of coaching. I would tell college freshmen back then, back now, listen to each other, listen to me. And that's how we can sort of move this to better conclusions than we have in the past.
With every guest, me being new to USI, I like to get to know a little bit more about the campus through their perspectives. I'm going to pose a couple questions, and as you guys may know, we'll finish with 3 rapid questions. What would your favorite spot on campus be?
I grew up in the health professions building, so for me, that's the place.
Favorite memory of USI?
My kids sort of grew up here, and my dogs grew up here, and I used to take my dogs to the disc golf field on the weekend. They'd run. Sometimes they chase golfers, but they'd come back if I called them. But it was such a wonderful thing.
Now, as we normally do, wrap it up with 3 questions. 3 questions plus 1. I'll say it that way.
Isn't that 4 questions?
Yeah, but you'll get what it's my series, so it'll be 3 questions. Favorite spot to eat on campus?
So it's not so much it's not going to be a restaurant.
These are supposed to be rapid fire, by the way.
Okay. So if I can change that to favorite beverage, which is always going to be coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And so walking on this campus while you have a coffee, there's nothing better.
I'll forgive him for the 45-second answer. That was a pretty good answer. Second question, I'll get to know you a little bit better as a person. Would you rather go to the beach or would you rather go for a hike?
I'd rather be in a European city.
Okay, so just disregard my whole question. Third question, this is a trend in the series. We ask the guests prior to this episode, the most recent guests, to pose one question for the next. So you have to answer and you have to provide a question. Question from the most recent guest was, did I enjoy this interview or their interview better?
Is there even a question for me?
I enjoyed the first interview much better.
Whoa.
I'm going to go for your question now.
What are you most proud of?
Okay.
What are you most proud of that you've been able to experience or be part of during your time at USI?
It's a great way to wrap up the interview.
Okay.
Eats with Evan, with Dr. Kevin Valadares, Eating at the Loft. I will catch you next time. Thank you.
Oh, you're very
It was a
welcome.
blast.
Thank you. Can I still keep eating?
Go for it.
Okay.